It's all about how much time you can spend with the consumer, right? So like how much time you're actually spending with them virtually or in real life. That is going to become the most important piece of content moving forward. It's like your actual personal experiences.
Hold on. Did you say you did a video on the worst things about Detroit?
I did, yeah.
Wow. That is counterintuitive.
There are people asking questions online. And so you just have to figure out what those questions are and you answer those questions.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Remington Ramsey. We are growing, and I appreciate you sharing this with your friends. We've got a killer topic today with a killer real estate agent, Paul Wolfert from the Detroit metro market. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
We were talking in the pre-show about your relationship with Ken Posick, who was most recently on our webinar and on our podcast as well. He's been on a couple times, and he actually was originally from Detroit, where you guys sold real estate together before either of you did content. And now he's in Orlando becoming a YouTube star, and you left all of Detroit for you to be the YouTube sensation.
And I appreciate him doing that. I mean, that was one of my favorite things that he's done. Everybody talks about all the things that Ken Posick has done. Like, you know, he's the greatest guy ever. And the thing that I am most thankful for, and the thing that I love the most, is that he left. I always say, please don't ever come back, because I don't want to compete with that guy. I've got enough competition here as it is. So
we had a really fun webinar talking, getting in the weeds a little bit about content and thoughts on it. And I really want to get your perspective, especially from being in a place that's a little different. A lot of Ken's content is more about, you know, Disney and coming to Orlando for tourism. And historically speaking, now we've had agents from Detroit, and I personally live in Indianapolis, about 5 hours from Detroit. And my experience with Detroit is not like what the tabloids have said over the last 20 years, where, you know, GM really struggled and the city struggled. You have to tell me, but it feels like the city is almost completely recouped from that narrative.
It's getting a lot better. So especially that downtown core market. And I think the benefit for someone like Ken, where you have a major draw like a Disney, right? It's literally Disney.
Yeah.
I have Detroit. So Detroit is the primary focus of a lot of the things that people know about the area. So when people are moving to, from, or around the state of Michigan, they automatically think about Detroit, which I don't necessarily work Detroit, but it still has to be part of that content thread to get people in, because that is my magnet for getting people in. So a lot of my content will say like near Detroit, like best cities near Detroit, like best, like whatever, near Detroit. So I have to play off that a little bit. But yeah, you're right. It's wildly different than it was 20 years ago, right? Like 15 years ago.
So growing up, I went to school in Illinois and grew up in Indiana. And in both states, Michigan has ads, pure Michigan, with Tim Allen on the voice of the radio ads. I don't listen to as much radio anymore, but then you go to Michigan and it's like it's the lake capital of the world. I mean, you've got both, you know, large lakes and like inner city lakes that have a lot of old money on them, like McMansion after McMansion on some of these smaller lakes that are like 1,000 acres. And it's really interesting. It's a very different market than Indiana. Do you sell a lot on the lakes or like on the Great Lakes?
No, not on the. So I'm still Metro Detroit. So there are a lot of inland lakes, like you said, and I've made content about like the pros and cons of buying a lake house, because that is a major point when people are considering making a move to the state of Michigan. Lakes are definitely a draw, but I don't think it's not as big of a draw as you would think, because the Great Lakes are like, I'm not going up to like Lake Michigan. Like I'm not going over, like that's too far for me. So I try to keep it to the Metro Detroit area.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you see those Tim Allen or you hear those Tim, I mean they're great, and there's a lot of spoofs on those too.
I'm not gonna lie, I love those commercials. I grew up on Home Improvement and big Tim Allen fan, and they make you want to move to Michigan. Now, I will say 8 to 9 months out of the year, I would love living in Michigan. There would be 3 months, just like Indianapolis, where I ask myself, why do I still live here?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why we have so many snowbirds, right?
Oh my
people
gosh.
make the move
That's
to, we
the
call
dream.
it Michigan's lower peninsula, which is Florida.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like we've like that's where they all go.
The
because
amount of
it's-
people that have a second home in Florida from the Midwest, it's
wild.
pretty unbelievable.
It is wild.
Let's talk about YouTube. You have made a fortune, not only a fortune, but fame from YouTube. YouTube, 38,000 subscribers, 4.8 million views, long form. And then Instagram.
40. I have over 47,000 subscribers.
Oh, man,
so.
you jumped since the last time we talked. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
3.6 million views monthly on Instagram is also interesting. So I want to talk about the dynamic of the content that you're posting from platform to platform, because do they exist simultaneously? Do you post them different? So like if you look at a content calendar,
Yep.
today it's the middle of the month. Do you do it monthly? Like how do you attack a content calendar, decide what you're going to film, when you're going to post it, and do you post all the same things to all platforms at once, or is there some sort of strategy there?
So I don't have a content calendar, and the unique thing about Instagram, if you look at my Instagram page, so I don't post on it as much as I was. So I grew it to it's 53, a little over 53,000 followers now on that Instagram page, and everything is short, easily consumable content that is like super dumbed down, right? Like I would take a long form topic that I would typically cover on YouTube, and I'm making it a minute long or less, like 30 seconds. So it's easily consumable. Somebody can just rip through it on their phone, and writing for that. So like I'm not using AI to write these things, but I'm trying to create something where I feel like it'll hook somebody and keep them there, keep them engaged. But writing for that is so much different than writing a long form piece of content. So that's actually one of the reasons I have not completely stepped away from my Instagram stuff, but I was just getting obsessed with it. Like it was it was consuming my life trying to create these little newsworthy bursts. Where
why
I
was that bad? Why was that different than YouTube consuming your life?
So I forget what the numbers are. I at one time I called it the Step Brothers effect, like where they say like you ever watch the movie Step Brothers?
Yeah.
They say like, did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
Right. So it's all about how much time you can spend with the consumer, right? So like how much time you're actually spending with them virtually or in real life. So if I get somebody to watch one of my videos for 15 minutes and then they consume another one for another 15 minutes and then another. So as I shared with you earlier, I just like a little over 5.5 million views on YouTube. And these are long form views where somebody's sitting there and they're with their family and they're watching me forever. That's a lot different than somebody consuming a quick piece of information. Like they'd have to watch 30 of my videos on Instagram to have that much.
That's interesting. I don't know that we've talked about
me.
that. So, I mean, it makes sense. How much time is someone spending with you to build the relationship? How many hours are they watching you on any of the platforms? And we started this part of the conversation saying you were getting obsessed with Instagram, trying to go viral or trying to get that hook. And based on what you're saying now, it was almost like you're beating your head against the wall for a couple seconds versus realizing that YouTube, you can get way more time spent with those people. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So I think the most surprising thing to me was I started doing these super long form video tours. So if you watch my channel at all, I do talking head videos where I'm here in my studio and I talk about areas or whatever. And then I have these video tours of homes where they're long. Like some of them are over an hour long.
Yeah.
And the number one complaint I get on those videos is go slower. Go slower. Like show us more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to see the ceilings. They want to see the baseboards. They want to hear. And
who are these people that want to see this? People who are actually considering buying it,
Yeah. And so the craziest thing to me when I started doing this was I'd have people follow me down this content journey where they watch me talk about where to live, right? Like, with information about the state of Michigan, then where to live in the state of Michigan. And then I'm talking or showing them homes that are available in the state of Michigan. And then they'll contact me. We do a video consult like this. And then I take my DJI Osmo Pocket camera, which is the greatest camera in the world. And I'll do video tours for them of homes, and we will never meet. And I'll do a video tour, $1 million house, like $1.5 million home.
That camera that you just suggested, is that a camera specifically used for action videos, like not talking head, but like that's the one that you use for touring?
It's a vlog style camera.
Yeah.
So you can do both vertical and horizontal videos with it. Ken's a big fan of it too.
We're gonna throw it in the show notes, is why I wanted to clarify.
Cool. Yeah, I mean it's an awesome. Get the creator bundle, like that is the one you need to link, because it comes with that viral little DJI mic, so you can like actually walk around and like walk away from the camera.
Yeah.
But when I started realizing that people would spend all of this time with me, like it's crazy to think about the amount of time that people have sat and watched my content. And so there's a big difference between that and like trying to say something as fast as possible to keep the attention span of a squirrel, like it's different. So the Instagram stuff has definitely helped with local, like becoming a local celebrity, where like I'll walk into places and people say, "You're the Instagram guy." I'm like, "Well, I'm the YouTube guy, but yes, also I'm the content guy."
Yeah.
So so it's just two different animals, but they're both the same thing, it's the same but different.
So if you've got a huge head start on content in your area, is this something where, like, I think about late night shows, you've got Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, probably 100 other Jimmys, and all the other guys. Colbert just got canceled, so he's out, but there's others, right? Conan. And you're thinking there's only so many eyeballs and ears that can consume late night television. Why do we need more? And the answer that I found is because we resonate with different people differently. Like some of us enjoy with, watching Fallon because we connect with him. We like his humor. Others are Kimmel. And so you think about the space for real estate. I mean, it's the same thing with all real estate in general. Like, why do you use one realtor versus a different one? If someone comes up with content, I feel like what I've heard in the past is people say there's no room for me. Someone's already dominating that space. And I just don't think that's true based on what we just said. Whereas like if you resonate with someone differently, you're going to digest Paul's content different than Remington's if Remington decides to do similar videos in the market. But like if you had to have someone come in and start fresh, what would your thought be on that? Like if you moved somewhere, if you moved to Orlando and started competing with Ken, what would you have to do something differently?
Time out. I wouldn't. I would never go to Orlando.
Yeah.
Jeez. Never. Because he's there. But I agree with you. But
you're proving 100%. My point about what you just said. What you just said, you're proving my point. So how you feel about Ken is how someone else feels about you. If someone were to move to Detroit.
Well, I mean, I think my not issue with that is I think that Ken and I are pretty similar. I've talked to him a ton. I think that we're very similar. So when other agents talk to me about creating a YouTube channel and they think that there's like no space for them, and then and I'll tie all this in together in just a second. And then there's all this talk about AI, right? There's a lot of people who are creating content and it's completely AI driven, right? Like I don't know if you've started to see some of that,
like faceless
Instagram,
like faceless channels,
full computer generated versions of themselves reading off AI generated scripts. But the one thing that AI will never have is like your personal experiences, right? So how you actually feel about when you go into a city or with the things that you go to, the places that you go or the restaurants that you like or whatever. So I think that that is going to become the most important piece of content moving forward. It's like your actual personal experiences. So if I move to somewhere like Orlando, then it would have to become my story, my journey about being there, living there, like why I'm there. So it would be the same as Ken, but different. But I think that there's space for everyone. I mean, I'm just personally afraid of Ken. So that's what it is.
So someone moves into Detroit, they start competing. What is the content that you found is the most effective for actual conversion? Because what I've learned to be true is that there's entertainment and then there's education. One of them is good for eyeballs and fame. Another one is good for actual conversion. Do you need to balance the two to grow the page, or is it possible to focus on one if you just want one of the results?
So I did this talk a few times where I talked about my content strategy, and the way that I designed my YouTube page was I have these videos that are semi-viral, where they are local content but semi-viral. So the celebrity homes of Michigan. So it's local but semi-viral. Mansions that are in Michigan, like mega mansion tours in Michigan. Worst things about Detroit. So that's like that appeals to sort of a lot of people because a lot of people want to hear about that. And then when the way that YouTube works is once somebody watches one of your videos, if they watch enough of it, YouTube will just start serving your other content to them.
Hold on. Did you say you did a video on the worst things about Detroit?
I did. Yeah.
Wow. That is counterintuitive. So you did a video that said, why not to move? Was it dumbed down? Was it a fake, just kidding, you should move to Detroit kind of thing? Or did you really get into the nitty-gritty?
If you watch it, it's like the city's not done, right? Like that was one of my first videos that I did. So it was like the city's not done. Like it's still, and it's like if you're looking for a city that's got it all figured out, like not Detroit. I didn't say like, don't go to Detroit, you might get shot or something like that. I didn't say anything like that. But I was saying the taxes are crazy. Some of the highest taxes in the state of Michigan. So like, you got to know about that. The food scene, like there's tons of restaurants, but they're always closing and like new ones are always opening up. So it's things like that.
Did you tie it in at the end to say all that I would still move to Detroit, or was it literally just a video to go viral?
Yeah, well, I mean, it didn't necessarily go viral, but it gets people who are interested in the city of Detroit to be like, oh, this guy's honest, right? Like he's saying all this stuff.
That's crazy. I can't wrap my mind around this. Like, I like it. I like that you did this. I just can't imagine, like, if you had interviewed, I'd be waiting for the spin. I'd be waiting for the but, and then it would never come.
It's always kind of a but, right? Like, it's like, well, if you like lots of restaurants or whatever, if you want to be part of the revival of a city, then you should be part of that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I started all my videos. I have a lot of call to actions in all my videos, asking people for business, or to contact me if they want more help or to watch more videos. Because that's a big thing about YouTube is keeping them on platforms. So as soon as you try to get them off the platform, YouTube doesn't like that. So you want to continually like, hey, watch this other video. Like I talk about like my favorite things about Detroit, or like places outside of Detroit you should live to. Like I'm pointing like this is where the video would be. So yeah, I mean like that's been a strategy for me for a long time. Like tell the truth. And like when I go into builder models, when I'm touring, like I tell the truth. And I think that that's one of the reasons I have clients that'll contact me and say, hey, we're about to walk into this builder's model, can we write you down as our real estate agent? Sure. Like, yeah, I'm your guy. Because they trust me to give them the real information based on my content.
Let me ask you on the other side of the aisle. So we represent vendors and realtors. For real producers, we've got the people who consume our content would be the top 500 agents of all of our markets. We're in 150 markets, Detroit and Indy being two of them. And then we also have our partners who listen to this show, engage in our platform. And a lot of our content, at least on the podcast, is driven from realtors to other real estate agents on how to do the thing. But instead of just trying to, if I'm a title rep or if I'm a mortgage lender, instead of trying to figure out how this applies to me, I'm curious if you have any ideas on how based on everything that you know to be true about content creation, if I'm a vendor, if I'm a mortgage lender trying to get the eyeballs of, I guess, the consumer, but in this case, the real estate agent too, how would you attack YouTube as a content, as a business building tool? Would you? Is it viable on the vendor side?
Excellent question. So what I would, if I don't know if you can link this in the show notes, but there's a book called They Ask You Answer, and it's a book that was actually written about blog posting and doing some video content, but it applies to every business. So you find the questions that people are asking about anything. So the guy who actually wrote the book, he had a pool installation company, and he was going, but like he was losing all of it. Like he lost all his money. His family was going to be homeless or whatever. Like, very dramatic. You have to set it up like that. And he saved it all with content marketing. So he found out, he did some research and figured out what questions people were asking. And he just simply answered those questions. And in any business, so whether you're an HVAC company or a plumber, or a roofing company, there are people asking questions online or wherever. And so you just have to figure out what those questions are, and you answer those questions.
How do you find those questions? What's the best way to get feedback on your business or your industry?
So, what's it called? Keywords Everywhere. Or Keywords Everywhere is a browser plugin that you can have on Google, so that whenever you type something in, it tells you how many people have been searching it. You can use tools like TubeBuddy or vidIQ to figure out like what people are, what things people are searching. And you're going to have, like, if you're going to be a company, if you're going to be creating content for a company like that, then it has to be a mix. So it has to be a mix of general information, like the best shingles to use, use these shingles, not these shingles. And then you become the trusted resource, right? And then, and for a lot of those, you might have to like refer business out, like click the link and I'll help you find the best roofer in your area.
Yeah.
But there's ways to do it. And then you would want to continually tie stuff back in. Like if you are in the Metro Detroit market or wherever, like I can do your roofs, whatever.
It's
I'm the best.
So interesting. Cause I know this game, I know this battle, because we do it at Real Producers. I do it on my personal channel. It's a constant battle to figure out, am I putting out content that I'm enjoying making? And am I putting out content that's actually being effective? Because they don't always line up. And it's not always like one for them, one for me kind of thing. Because if you do that, you'll lose eyeballs and you will really split your followers and not have any following because it's an inconsistent page. And so for you, how many years you've been doing this?
I started my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel at the beginning of COVID because I couldn't do Instagram.
So 5 years.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for 5 years. In that 5 year span, have you found yourself like tired of doing certain videos, like you don't enjoy doing anymore, but they're really effective, so you decide to continue doing it? Or are you passionate about results? So whatever's getting the results, you happen to also enjoy it because of the results. Like how do you navigate that?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. But then what I learned was that when I say absolutely, I get tired of making the same. So, what I learned after studying some of the top YouTubers out there, whether it's like Mr. Beast or like whoever, like any educational platform, they recreate the same stuff over and over and over again. You might say something different in the videos, but if you go to like a tech YouTube channel, they're reviewing new products. So I can review cities, right? Like I can review builders. And they might give you, the top 10 ways to grow your YouTube channel. And I can give you the top 10 places to move in Michigan. It's always the same thing. And yeah, I get sick of doing it. And that's what was so appealing about the Instagram stuff, because with Instagram, I was reporting on new news that was coming out in Metro Detroit. So whether it was a new building, new development, that's the stuff that I was reporting on. And it was really short and easy to consume. But it wasn't it wasn't and doesn't move the needle for me in quite the same way that YouTube does. Like I don't have people reaching out and saying like, I want to spend $2 million on a home from my Instagram posts about Detroit. Like that's just not happening yet. But so the focus needed to go back to YouTube for me.
So getting back to starting from scratch, after everything that we know to be true from what you said, how would you start a channel from scratch? If you were me, I'm not even in real estate. I get my real estate license tomorrow, and I want to start a YouTube channel to be the main driver of leads coming in for Remington Ramsey Real Estate and Indianapolis. What would the steps be that you would take to get that thing started?
So the first thing that I would do is start creating statewide content. So things about the state itself, and then I'd get more granular, right? Like they've been overdone. There's a million of them out there. The pros and cons videos, like the best and worst things about living in the state.
Now, when you say overdone, isn't it still like I would still watch that though? Like I would if there was a hook right now and it was like best and worst things of living in India, if it was shot well and kept my attention, I think I would still watch that even though it's been overdone.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. The reason I say it's been overdone is every time I hear it brought up, like these pros and cons videos, people are like, oh, everybody's doing those. Yeah, everybody's doing them because they work. Yeah. Right. And I think that the more authentic they can look, I think if you just set up your phone on a picnic table and you're just outside just complaining about the state, I think the better they'll do. Like people really, there's been like a shift in YouTube, right? In YouTube to more authentic content. So things that are less produced. Selfie videos. Selfie style videos. And that's where, like I said, when I started doing those long form tours of homes, they're more vlog style. So I realized that there's a lot of urban explorers out there, people who are like going inside old buildings or just like going to explore a city in another country. Yeah. And people watch those for a really long time, and they're super authentic. Huh. So I would do more stuff like that. I would do more exploration style videos, like let's go explore this city in Indy, right? Like let's check it out, but not super edited, not with a bunch of graphics, like raw, so that somebody can get a feel for you and how you operate. It's amazing. Like you'll get a ton of watch time on it, because people are interested and they like to be voyeuristic and watch what's happening. And it gives you a chance to like spend a lot of time with that consumer. The most important thing about this stuff, and I learned it the hard way, is asking for the business, is actually having a call to action in there. I made a huge mistake on my channel, and I went through, I realized that whenever I asked for business, my graph went down, right? So the viewership went down. So I went into the YouTube editor and I removed them all. I chopped them all out and my business dropped. And I was like, what's going on with my business? Like, why are people not reaching out anymore? So I went back through and I added it all back in, and it was like clockwork.
You're saying the CTA was important to have. Like,
yep. It hurts. It hurts your watch time. It does. Nobody wants to sit through it. Like mine's pretty quick. Nobody wants that. Like they don't want you to be selling your services. But, every YouTuber out there has an ad or something. They're like pitching a product or something. Like, why not pitch yourself? Very beginning. It's always at the beginning. So it's after my hook.
So you're saying that your views go down, but the effectiveness of the views, like the people you actually want viewing it, stays the same or actually goes up.
Yep. Like people actually clicking that link in the description goes up for sure. Or the reach outs happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a good thing to hear, like, because the vanity metrics can really get out of hand. That's what you were doing with Instagram at the beginning of the show. You're talking about beating your head against the wall because you're trying to get those vanity metrics on Instagram. That's not even necessarily like converting, but you get more views and more followers and you feel good about yourself and you think it's going to lead to business. And then you start justifying it because you got that drip. I've seen this 100 times all over the industry where people are like really excited and you look at the decisions they make that are more based on vanity than actual business. And if that's what you're after, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's what they're after. And so
it's not going to pay your bills, right? Like you getting, it might, like if you become like a super YouTuber, right? like that, but that's a different path. Like, and there was a point in time there where, I started making these long form tour. Like I had one tour and it made like $2,000 in 6 days, YouTube ads. And I was like, man, I could go down this path, right? Like I could just start doing this. But I'm like, that's not my bit. Like keep the main thing,
Right.
Like my main thing is selling, helping people buy and sell real estate. So I'm like, I need to get back on that journey and stop worrying about the vanity metrics so much. So that was a hard lesson for me to learn. But since I went back to doing it, like there's multiple times in every one of my videos that I ask for the business. I ask them to contact me if they need any help, and I point to the description. I tell them to reach out, and like every day I get like a new lead coming in. So it's great.
This has been a killer conversation, Paul. Where can we find you? Tell us the YouTube and Instagram handles.
YouTube.com/Paul Wolfert. And then the Instagram, the businessy one is Metro Detroit Insider, but you can just find me at Instagram.com/Paul Wolfert. So it's real easy, super easy.
I love it, man. Great convo. Thanks for being on the show. If you want to influence who we have or what we talk about, email us at podcast@realproducersmag.com. And if you do not have your tickets to RP Elevate, rpelevate.com, you can get your tickets there. And we will see you September 29th and 30th in Dallas, Texas. Paul, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.